Hello, what's happening? We're welcome back to episode 3 of the Kitchen Talk podcast. We are a week late, so apologies to the 6 people that listen every week. Um, we did have Kieran Franco on last week. However, we did have some technical issues in the shitty £20 gaming mics that I bought off Amazon. Couldn't record both at the same time, so rather than sending up or set or fucking what am I saying? Rather than putting out a podcast where you can only listen to me speak, and just hear Kieran vaguely speak in the background, I decided not to do it and didn't record another one. So here we are. For those of you very observant, you'll notice we do have a new setup here. This is to accommodate guests in the future. So it's not a karaoke machine. It's a audio interface. 70 fucking pounds I've spent, and so please, please enjoy this and don't give me grief, or I will be really upset, and this will be a waste of money, to be honest. But yeah, as I say, we were meant to have Kieran Franco on last week, and I'm really upset I can't release it because we did have some really interesting chats. We talked about the Irish League, the history of Linfield, Kieran's travels in Thailand. We went into great, extensive, intellectual conversations. Not like what you're going to get this week. I'll just say that. I have a range of topics to speak about this week. It seems to be it's going to be a recurring theme, I think, of just slobbering about these fitness wankers that annoy me, because I found more of them. There are more things, but we will get into it. Just before I get started, though, I have gigs coming up. If you want to come see me do stand-up on Wednesday, the 9th of April here, this coming Wednesday. This will be out Sunday night probably, maybe Sunday afternoon. Who the fuck knows? I'll be in on Wednesday the 9th. I will be down in Dublin in the International Comedy Club. I think it's a comedy cellar on Wednesday nights. It's a short set, so if you're just in Dublin and you want to see me do stand up south of the border, come on down. I think the tickets are €13 or something. If you're up north in the border, I am in Ulster Sports Club on Thursday night for No Joke, with a whole other load of great comedians. I can't even say that about Dublin because I don't know who else is on it, but I'm assuming they're going to be funny because it's a big comedy club. But yes, so Wednesday and Thursday I will be in Dublin and Belfast respectively. So if you're looking at a gig, come on down. What else was I going to say? Oh, big news coming in the pipeline here. I don't know. People might remember I ran a comedy club in the Dundallas Social Club last year on Good Friday. I've been asked to do one again, not on Good Friday, but this time on the 13th of June, Friday the 13th. Bad luck day. Bad luck to be a comedy night, because it'll be a fucking gig, tell you that much. Tickets aren't out yet. Don't know who's playing at it yet, but it's happening. So don't even know why I'm announcing it. So just fucking keep your diaries free if you're looking to come down. Cheap beers, good crack. You know what I mean? Last time it was great crack. Ended up fucking polaxed after. It's just a fun night. So go on down to that. Apart from that, I think we can get tucked right into today's podcast topics. And I've been seeing these a lot. I don't know if other people have as well. They are. I'll actually preface this by saying I have a theory now. Maybe it's like not even a theory. Maybe just like like a general feeling that as humans we have gotten too smart for our own good. That we're actually regressing into being stupid again. And by that I mean, we know so much about our bodies, or like scientists know so much about our bodies and like all the different shit that goes on in them. And then also couple that with the internet and the access of people, being able to find out all this information. But also, they also have the ability, say also again there, people also have the ability to go on and just spout absolute shite on the internet. And because on the internet, people will be like, yeah, 100%, that guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And they can just put like fake credentials on things. And that's where I think this topic has stemmed from, like people just having too much information almost. Like you can just sometimes it's okay to just not know what it is that's going on in things. I haven't described this very well, but what I'm talking about today is the carnivore diet. And the carnivore diet is, you would think it's just eating meat, and it's like, okay, eat meat, probably like vegetables and shit as well. Yeah, it is that, but also eating fucking just raw testicles and raw liver and stuff like that. There was obviously your man, the Liver King. He was the big one who sort of started it all. Liver is king. He would eat fucking all sorts of mental raw meats for breakfast and everything. But there's another one, Coach Carnivore Cam or something. And these people, and they'll be like, yeah, I go out, I don't drink, I just drink water, I have a steak, nothing else, covered in butter. I go to McDonald's, I get 6 double cheeseburgers, no pops, no cheese, just burger. What is the fucking point? Like, you couldn't enjoy that. You must smell like, your farts must be fucking humdinging, to be honest. And it's like, they go into so much detail about it, and they're like, yeah, when you're eating raw meat, it's the enzyme levels in your red blood cells. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't either, but I'm not going to listen to you just because you've got fucking a few TikTok followers. And it's like, there's the food that they're eating. I'm sorry, I don't believe you need to be eating that. They're eating like raw fucking bull testicles, livers, hearts, brains, not even cooking them. And they're like, that's the way, the cavemen did it thousands of years ago, maybe millions of years ago, probably was millions of years ago. And they didn't get sick. Yeah, they died when they were 26. If you got to your 30s, you were considered a pensioner. Do you think they were just eating raw meat for the crack? It's because they were fucking stupid. They didn't know about salt and chili chicken or fucking burgers cooked. They didn't know about all this other stuff. Do you think if you went back in time to like the monolithic era, pull that out of my arse, don't know if there was humans about at that point. Do you think if you went to them with a McDonald's double cheeseburger and you says, big lad, and he's like, ooga booga, ooga, he's trying to kill you with a spear and all, but you can get around it, you find a way to communicate. You give him a cheeseburger and you say, you find out how to communicate with him to begin with as well. You say, I'll give you either this cheeseburger, and it looks like a McDonald's cheeseburger, or you can eat that raw fucking deer that you've just killed that's covered in shit and flies. Like, you're going to give that to him, and he's going to be amazed. It's going to be like his third eyes opened. People act like that because they didn't have a choice. You have a choice, and you choose to eat fucking melted butter covered in, I don't know, pork scratching or something. It's all about, oh yeah, man, you just need to cut out all the shit, cut out all the sugar. I like a fucking bit of bread. What's it gonna do? Also, people did eat fucking bread in the olden times. I don't know. Whenever they worked out how to, make make wheat in the flour, then they made bread. This is what I mean by we're going so far ahead that we're actually getting really stupid. Like people are actually eating like cavemen, thinking that it's smart. It's not. I think your man, the Coach Carnivore Cam, or Carnivore Coach Cam, whatever the fuck you call him, he went and did like a health assessment, like an MOT for your body basically, and people picked up on his, like, he was like, oh yeah, my blood's fine, my liver's fine, my kidney's fine, but then his cholesterol was like fucking through the roof, and he was like, it's actually fine to have high cholesterol, and everyone else, I don't, you know what I mean, I'm not coming here as a health expert telling you what to do. They sort of were like, yeah, your cholesterol's fucked, you're going to die, you're going to have a heart attack. You're pre-diabetic was actually what he was as well, because he was eating, like, he would do these stupid videos and it'd be like, instead of eating crisps, why don't you cut up 16 kilos of bacon, put it in the air fryer for 4 hours and eat it like that? Or, hear me out, just have a packet of Quavers. It's not going to kill you. 16 kilos of bacon done in the air fryer for 4 hours, that'll fucking kill you. It does sound great. I'll hold my hands up. It doesn't sound bad. But you look at the things they're eating, and it's like they're eating like 3 steaks for breakfast with 9 eggs, and they're just, you must be farting like absolute fuck, big fella. I fart like fuck, but that's not the same thing. You're having fucking 9 eggs. What do you need? I actually, tell you the truth, don't like eggs. I only like eggs in omelette form, so I don't know, really the extent of eggs can do to your bowels. But I can only assume, even the word eggs, it just sounds like it would give you bowel movements. Like there are certain words you associate with, taking big shites or doing big farts, and I think eggs are one of them. Curry, probably another one. Like you think of like soup and all, that doesn't sound like it's going to give you the runs. curry, eggs. You know, there's oh, what's the one I'm thinking of? It's not really the same thing, but asparagus. It sounds like it makes your piss smell or hurt or whatever it does. Or does it make it a different color? I'll have to Jimmy pull that up. No, we don't have that kind of setup here. Um, but you know what I mean. So I don't really know. And this is sort of coupled with the whole idea of it's not just the carnivore people; it's the people who are doing all this mad shit with like sea moss and bone broth. It's like, oh yeah, I get up in the morning and I've wrote this down by the way, so I don't fuck it up. I get up in the morning, I drink a cup of bone broth, and I rub seaweed on my fucking face to look 10 years younger. Please, what are we doing here? We don't need to be doing all this. What even is bone broth? Why are you drinking that? And it's like all these fucking influencers, and it's mostly women who do it, and nothing against them, love them. It's like you have so much time on your hands, and you have so little to worry about. This is about the influencers, by the way, not all women. But you have so much time on your hands, nothing to worry about, that you can afford to care about things like fucking bone broth and sea moss. What is it? What is sea moss? Why do you want to ingest that? And they're like, oh yeah, it's good for your gut. It's good for your gut biome. Okay, have a Yakult. You know what I mean? There's things out there. You don't need to be getting moss from the sea. It sounds disgusting. And then they do it and they put it in a cup and they drink it and they're like, ugh. You don't need it. The best part about it is you don't need to drink it. Do you know what I mean? And I also, side note here, I picked this up. I was watching so I was trying to get clips from podcast episode 2, and the amount of times I said was it was remarkable, to be honest with you. I also think I say that quite a lot, so I'm going to try to limit the amount of phrases I use. If anyone has any other phrases, by the way, I would really appreciate those. So I don't need to keep saying, and to be honest with you, or to tell you the truth, there are my like fucking 3 magic tricks. Magic tricks, probably not the right word. 3, don't know. We'll move on regardless. I can't fucking think today. Do you know what it is? It's a Saturday afternoon. It's just turned 12:05. I am going out on the liquor today, and I can't bloody wait. That's all I can think about. So forgive me if I'm not the most coherent this week. I did actually prepare a load of stuff to talk about. I don't go into too much detail in my notes. Bit of background. I only write out notes, and some of them are just absolute nonsense. To be honest. Oh, there we go. There's the to be honest counter. If anyone wants to play a game of bingo or a drinking game, and how many times I say to be honest, or or to tell you the truth, you will end up paralytic. So give it a go if you want. But back to the sea moss and bone broth cunts. This is exactly what I mean by we know too much about our bodies for at this point in time, because they'll be talking about things like, oh yeah, the sea moss has this regenerating fucking enzyme in it that produces protein in your blood that makes your fucking skin excrete this liquid that makes it look younger. How the fuck do you know? I don't believe you. Okay? There, I said it. I don't fucking believe you. Give me chemically produced moisturizer that's marketed well. I don't want some fucking hippie with dreadlocks telling me, oh yeah, man, this is natural. This will fucking, I don't know, make your dick longer and your fucking farts less smelly. I don't want that. I just want, if I moisturize after a shave and that's it. I don't care if my skin looks dry. What am I, a fucking woman? Get me, what I am, I'm a big muscular man. I like to fucking drink beer and have a dry face. But you know what I'm saying? That was a bit of an extremity to it, but you don't need to. It doesn't need to be one or the other. By the way, you can moisturize with normal fucking products. You don't need to be rubbing I don't know, seaweed or whatever the fuck it is. I've just got a lovely little plastic bag from the ocean here, and I've just shoved it up my arse crack, and it's really good to peel the skin off your arse so that when you wipe, it's a cleaner wipe, it's a faster wipe. What the fuck? I've actually tied a bit of string around my cock so that whenever I come, it actually gets further distance so that I can come right into the bin. We don't need. I don't even know what that part was about. That wasn't even remotely about what I was talking about before. That's the beauty of it. We can just we can say what we want. There'll be no repercussions. Hopefully not. What was I saying? Oh my god. The bone broth cunts. Yeah, and they're eating fucking poke bowls and chia fucking shit. Why are you eating seeds? You're not a pigeon. What happened to just having a bit of bread and butter, bit of toast, bacon on the weekends, sausage soda, or something? What the fuck happened to all that? Yeah, I'm just having some raspberry pomegranate poke bowl. I think a poke bowl is something completely different. What's the other word for it? What's the fucking? It's like a yogurt bowl. I don't know what you call it now. It's gonna do my head in. It's like oats and shit in a bowl. Oh my god, with like porridge and fucking like raspberry compote and bollocks like that. What do you call it? It's escaped me, but that's what I was thinking of, not poke bowls. Poke bowls are also woke. Oh yeah, give me a bowl of. I actually don't even know what. We'll look it up, will we? I thought a poke bowl was what you catch them wee fucking Pokemon in. You. That's a poke ball, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering. Poke bowl. Poke is a dish of diced raw fish tossed in sauce and served either as an appetizer or a main course. Oh yeah, give me. See, to be honest with you, there we go. There's another one. Even raw fish is just fucking mental. Whoever decided, yeah, let's just pick this out of the sea and eat it like that, is insane. What is the harm in just fucking throwing it on a bit of heat and getting a bit of colour on it? Do you know? We don't need to be. It's like the fucking carnivore diet all over again. I can't escape these fucking people. What else do we have here? Yeah, there's another one that's grinding my gears down. This section of the podcast is just going to be complaining about trends that are happening these days. This one here is Dubai chocolate. Why are we calling everything with pistachio in it Dubai chocolate? I don't, what makes it Dubai? I think the whole trend started from, I'll do a bit of context here if anyone hasn't seen it. People were doing, I've made the viral Dubai chocolate on my in my kitchen, and it's I tried it and it's delicious, and it's like fucking just a chocolate bar with pistachio like sauce, and this Arabic thing that looks like hay called knafe. Nafe, any Arabic brothers out there? Happy Eid to begin with, end of Ramadan, keep her lit. I'm sure yous are fucking loving it now. You can eat and all sorts, but yeah, if they can tell me how do you say that thing or what actually it is. But that's what the Dubai chocolate was. It was chocolate with pistachio and knafe, and I think that the knafe thing was what actually made it Dubai chocolate. But now everything's fucking Dubai chocolate. You go into like a wee bakery and goes, oh, we've got Dubai chocolate muffins. What the fuck makes it from fucking Dubai? You've just put pistachio in it. Why are we getting rid of the word pistachio? Is it because people don't know what it is? Weirdly enough, I actually don't think I think I tell you, no, I'm a liar. I've had a pistachio croissant in the airport in Prague coming home, and it just tastes like fucking Kinder Bueno. That's all it is. I don't know what I expected because obviously it's a nut, and so I think Nutella and all is made with hazelnut, almonds. I'm there. It's either one of those two or I'm missing the really obvious one, but it's one of those, and that's what the nut tastes like. And obviously pistachio, also a nut, tastes like them. But what I don't get is pistachio's really salty, really fucking good as well. But what is it like? Why does it not taste salty? Because I thought, you always hear about Americans go, "Oh my god, pistachio ice cream." I thought that would maybe be a salty ice cream. I've just lifted my vape. Can I vape on the podcast? Am I allowed to? Yeah, we're allowed to. Maybe that's a bit of ASMR for you if you've got the headphones in. But so I thought pistachio was just like a salted ice cream. I thought there's no way that's nice. Or maybe, there's probably salted caramel. I suppose that's the same thing, really, isn't it? The saltiness and the sweetness to it. That's not too bad. But I'm getting sidetracked here. The Dubai chocolate, yeah, just go back to calling it fucking pistachio. You just fucking throw anything green in the savoury thing, and it's automatically Dubai chocolate. And I just don't understand where this has come from. What is so appealing about Dubai to begin with? I haven't actually written this down, but it's something I always think about. I see people going to Dubai, and I just think, that looks absolutely shite. There is nothing interesting about that place at all. And I'm not someone who, I don't go to places for the culture. You know what I mean? I don't go to look at fucking monuments and historical things. I go to get blocked, the, and that's the God's honest truth. But I like to get blocked in places of the world that are like just nice looking. Everything about, even like New York. You look at New York. Obviously, New York's a big concrete jungle, skyscrapers everywhere. But that's like I suppose that's the culture of New York, because it's like that from, I don't know, the early 1900s, probably maybe 1800s, and it sort of developed from that. Dubai didn't go that way. It was just desert, and then they were like fucking bang, skyscrapers everywhere, and people take photos and they're like, oh my god, it's so cool, and it's like, it's not really that cool. Okay, there's a big building, and like it's all really like, oh, modern and shit like that, but then it's also like, you know how many slaves built that shit. Fair enough, if you go to the pyramids, you know, you look at that and you go, yeah, that was also built by slaves, but not fucking slaves now. Not slaves, 40 years ago. These were slaves, and well, actually, let's be honest, the pyramids were built by aliens, so it wasn't really slaves. But it's a different sort of thing. And then obviously, I think I don't think New York was built by slaves, but it was built by oppressed Native Americans and also Irish immigrants. So I wouldn't say it's the same thing, but there's like multiple cases of fucking, people dying. Even Qatar, when they were doing the World Cup, they were basically just stealing Pakistani men and their passports and just being like, yeah, you're going to work for 40p a day and build these football stadiums, and if you die, we're just going to let on like it didn't happen, so fuck you. And that's how that got built, and I'm assuming Dubai's the same, went about it the same way. I also don't even know when Dubai started to become a thing. I also thought that Dubai was its own country, but it's not. It's part of the United Arab Emirates, which just doesn't appeal to me, And don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fucking, civil rights, but I'm also not the other kind, I'm not the other side, fucking, a Nazi or anything, but there are serious human rights violations in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Like, you can't be, not that I have anything to fucking worry about, know what I mean? I go out there, I book all the women, but you can't be gay there, which would be a problem for some of my fucking mates anyway. You know what I mean? But it's just not a nice environment to be in. I think, like, fair enough, I'm not gay, but if it was, I wouldn't be pretty welcome here. So it's probably not a nice environment to go to. Also, shit's expensive, or is it not? See, if I'm going on holiday, the first thing I want to know is how much is a beer in it, and see if it's any more than what I pay here, which fucking extortionate. Well, you can't even go in the town. You can't even get a round of drinks for a tenner anymore. You can't. And that's the God's honest truth. If I want to go on, what's the point of going on a holiday and spending more money than you would spend at home? The whole point to me is go somewhere that's fucking, nice bit of weather, cheap as fuck, and that's literally the two things you need: sun and cheap pints. That is it. You go to fucking Dubai, they're making rain clouds. What's that all about? And they're not even Jewish. They've got Arabs controlling the weather there. That's fucking, well, this is the society we're living in. But it's, fair enough. The weather is nice, so I've heard or I've seen. It would be. It's a fucking desert at the end of the day. And then you're paying, and it's all these fucking Instagram influencers, and it's like, I just don't get the appeal, to be honest with you. Like, if you wanted to live somewhere else, like, why there? Why there? And they're like, oh, it's so safe. Yeah, because if you do anything, you get your fucking head cut off. There's me gonna get banned from the UAE. I hope none of the UAE embassy watch this. And don't get me wrong, it's not all Arab countries. It is literally just Dubai. Well, again, not a country. The UAE, I just don't like the idea. Fuck them. How about that? We'll just go full heavy metal. Fuck them. Fuck the UAE. Fuck Saudi Arabia. Fuck Qatar. I don't mind Egypt because Mo Salah comes from there, but also Egypt's a very historically, like, significant, place. There is a lot of culture there. It hasn't, it just doesn't have oil. That's what the fucking difference is. I think there's oil off the coast, but not on the mainland. Also, it's part of Africa, so it's not. It's sort of Arab, but the north part of Africa is Arab. Is there any other Arab countries that I don't like? I don't mind Afghanistan. Never been. But again, they're like, well, maybe not actually. They're very much in the Taliban are in control there. Maybe not there. I did read a book about Iraq, and I hope this isn't going to go anti. What's the word for being hectic against Muslims? Islamophobic. That's what it is. I hope this isn't Islamophobic. I'm just talking about countries here. I read a really good book about this guy who got made Saddam Hussein's brother's body double. If you're not aware of Saddam Hussein, read a fucking book for once, or Google it. I'm not going to go into the intricacies of the 1970s in Iraq, but part of the book it talks about, like, under Saddam Hussein's rule in Iraq, he was it wasn't as like, well, I don't even know what it's like now, to be honest, but it wasn't like, it was obviously an Islamic country, but it wasn't, so it's not like Saudi Arabia now where like women have to fucking cover up and shit. It was very much a very liberal in comparison to the other Arab countries, I think. And this is just what I'm gauging from this one book I've read. So if I'm wrong, forgive me. But it's really interesting how they were just so greedy with money, the Saddam Hussein regime, and everything was free flowing. And there were some horrific things that the son Uday Hussein that he did, and it's all documented in this guy's book, which it's actually banned in Ireland as well because he was critical of the Irish government when they give him asylum after he escaped it. Why can't I remember the guy's name? Latif Yahya, that's what it is. Latif Yahya. I think the book's called The Devil's Double. There's a good film as well if you're fucking illiterate or you don't like reading because you're a child. The film's really good, called The Devil's Double. Really interesting. But it also, as I was saying, it's banned in Ireland. And I actually, if he's watching this, don't know if you are, Latif, send me your third book because I can't buy it anywhere. And I've emailed you countless times. I've even emailed this guy. I got Google Translate. This is no word of a lie. So the first two books I read, the third one, I don't know, I think it's the third one that's been banned in Ireland. It's banned fucking everywhere. You cannot buy it. I haven't been able to find a copy. I was on the guy's website and I'd seen there was a contact email address. So I was like, listen mate, please can I have your book? I've read the first two and I just want to know what happens. No answer. And I'm like, this guy's so Iraqi, he's not going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. So then I sent a follow-up email. Google translated it into Arabic and he didn't answer. I don't know if he's been shot by the CIA or I don't know, he's just fucking dead just by natural causes. But here, I'll go on to it in a second. But he needs to send me this third book. That reminds me, there's news. I don't know if she's dead or not now, but the girl who touted on, I don't want to say touted on because that's pretty bad. The girl who whistle blew, again, probably not the right choice of words for the story here. The girl who blew the story on Prince Andrew, again, really not blow the story. Sounds a bit fucking double entendre there. The girl who accused Prince Andrew of the diddling has been hit by a car, and it said she had days to live. You think they'd get a new flow? Get a, surely you've got something else under your belt. Monarchy. I just find it's very suspicious indeed. Again, I don't know if she's dead. If she's dead, it's going to be pretty hectic. But there was a photo of her all bruised up in the hospital, and it's like. But then you're also thinking, like, if they were going to do it, say they're all planning it in a room, and they're like, right, we need to get rid of this girl. It's just fucking Andrew's under heaps with this girl. We need to get rid of her. And what will we do? And someone's like, why don't we just hit her with a car again? And everyone's like, well, we've done that before. But then it's almost like it's almost like so stupid of them to do it again that it wouldn't make any sense for them to do it again, so no one would be suspicious of it. Because all I've seen are memes about it. No one's actually considering the thought that it has been them. If she was poisoned, a bit of Novichok, the Russian poison agent or something, put a bit of Novichok in her fucking Weetabix, then, eyebrows are raised. But if you just hit her by a car again, everyone's like, oh, it's like Diana all over again. No one's the fucking wiser. Why? Maybe I'm uncovering something. Maybe not. Maybe she was just horribly injured in a terrible accident. I'll look up after here if she's been, if she survived. If she has, I'll keep this in. If she hasn't, I'll edit it out. wee secret. I'm not going to edit it out because I don't know how to. That's the other week. I said something about a footballer from Northern Ireland being a paedophile, and I said to Kieran, I was like, "Don't worry, I'll edit that part out." I don't know why I said that. And then afterwards, I was thinking to myself, I actually don't think I know how to edit this. My laptop is a piece of shit. Everything is so slow. I'm amazed I can even record this podcast, but so I don't want to put it to its maximum by editing things out, and I don't want to be censored. You can't say anything anymore without getting in trouble for it. You can't even say you're proud to be British, or you get thrown in jail. You can't even say God save the king, you get thrown in jail. Well, you can't say anything these days. Meanwhile, the people who say that say fucking everything all the time, non-stop. But that's, does I say any more? Here's a fun wee segment. This isn't me complaining now. This is just something I came up with that I thought was really funny. It was inspired by another Belfast comedian, Jack McGee. He's great. He does a wee segment on his Instagram now. He's been doing it for a while, where he reads out song lyrics in the voice of a Northern Irish newsreader. It's very funny. Check him out. I would show it on this, but I don't know how to. Well, I do know how to. I just don't have the capabilities. But he does that, and it got me thinking. What other like sort of things is there? And I was thinking that the Cool FM the Cool FM presenter voice. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that's like this. I feel like it goes really well with this microphone. I was thinking of doing not even a joke. Well, it was a joke, but then I was like, I can't really do a joke with that because it's really like It's really like specific to where you are, and it's also it's probably not even that funny to be honest. But I can do it on the podcast here. The one I have is top 3 wanks in a Cool FM presenter voice. So just give me a wee second. Good afternoon. We're here Saturday afternoon. It's Cool Goes Quiet. We're going to do our top 3 wanks. Honourable mention goes out to the cry wank. That's the wank you have after a girl's broke your heart and you have a wank over her and you cry your eyes out after. Okay, coming in at number 3, we've got the wank before bed. A staple in every man's life. A wank you want to have just before you go to sleep to get the night through. Number 2, back to the old days. It's the after school wank. It's the best wank when you came home from school after a long day, get the uniform off, and then you just bait one out. And then last but not least, our number 1 wank. It's the wank, the danger wank, the wank you know you can't have. You're pressed for time. You shouldn't be doing it, but it feels oh so good. And they're my top 3 wanks if presented by a presenter on Cool FM. So let me know what you think of that, or give me some lists, and we can do that again. I asked last week, 2 weeks ago now. My nose is so itchy. I don't want to be. I hope it's not ASMR. We can hear it ruffling the mustache. But I asked last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry, if you had to have one of your fingers replaced with a bottle of sauce, what sauce would it be? I don't have the figures in front of me, but so many people were saying peri peri mayo, specifically out of Marxie's, weirdly enough. And I don't agree. I'm sorry. It's a nice sauce. It is a very nice sauce, but I'm thinking versatility here. It has to be red sauce. It has to be. It can't be anything but red sauce. You can have red sauce with your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You can have it with anything. You can have it as with a wee snack. Say you're having. Do you know what my favourite thing is? One of my favourite things, cheese on toast with a wee bit of red sauce. Not on the cheese on toast, but beside it, something to dip it into, or a toasty. Dip a toasty in the red sauce. It's nice. It's nice. Why are we pretending like it's not nice? People really hate red sauce. And I think you're kidding on to yourself. You're saying peri peri mayo. Oh yeah, I love peri peri mayo all the time. And this is sorry to all the people I'm making fun of here, because you're the only ones who answered me. Your peri peri mayo, I'd have that all the time. What are you having chicken burgers? You having goujons morning, noon, and night? Are you? What the fuck do you have peri peri mayo with? Don't want it on a burger. Give me red sauce and mustard, McDonald's style, Five Guys style. I I would allow maybe mayonnaise. No one said mayonnaise, and I think it's criminally underrated sauce when you think about it. Like see when you have an oven pizza. This is kitchen talk now. When you have an oven pizza, you know what sauce are you going for realistically? And I'll give you in that instance, it isn't usually red sauce, and if it is, you're a sex offender. But it could be sweet chili. It could be barbecue if you're that way inclined. But I think mayonnaise is probably the better option in that regard. And then you think the versatility of mayonnaise, you can have it with a pizza, an oven pizza, in a sandwich, ham and mayonnaise sandwich, any sort of sandwich really. Mayonnaise, it's a good alternative to butter in in some instances, But no one said mayonnaise. I think one person actually did say sweet chili. Don't mind it. I can take or leave it. I remember when sweet chili first came out. This is how old I'm getting. I remember when they brought sweet chili out. I don't want that from fucking China. I don't want that fucking. I don't like hot. That's what my ma says. I don't like hot. Whenever something's like mildly spicy. Oh no. I don't like hot. Yeah, but you like a fucking beef curry to the Chinese, don't you? What does that mean? I can imagine that's what it was like when sweet chili came out. Oh no, I don't want that. That's hot. It's literally called fucking sweet chili. It's not hot at all. And on the topic of sauce, I think we did a sauce talk segment the other week. When you think about it, sweet chili and hot honey are more or less the fucking same thing. It's just a sweet sauce with a hotness to it. And I like to think that's actually where the hot honey bandwagon came from. Someone was like, oh yeah, get me a sweet sauce and let's make it hot. And they've went for hot honey. And don't get me wrong, I do like hot honey, but let's not kid ourselves here. It is, sweet chili walked so hot honey could run at the end of the day. And it's everywhere. People are fucking putting it on everything, anything and everything. Hot honey. Come down and try my hot honey mozzarella sticks. That's another one. Fucking mozzarella sticks are everywhere. Not even the best cheese, if we're being honest. It is obviously halloumi, and I'll fight anyone who says otherwise. I'm like your big man, Garen Noon, the Irish TikToker who talks about big fat fucker, talks about food with a big stinking beard, and he does music. In recent light has came out as a bit of a right wing lunatic, to be honest. He was if you're not aware, he's a TikToker who talks about fucking cups of tea and fucking biscuits and shit like that. And he did a video and he was like, people were asking him about his opinion on Conor McGregor going to the White House, and he said something like, you can say what you want about Conor McGregor, I don't really agree with him, but some of the things he's saying, and it's like, that's probably not the way that sentence should go, to be honest with you, mate. If I was in that position, I would be trying to distance myself, I think, from Conor McGregor, and not agreeing with it, because if he's saying it, there we go, there's another, if you're playing along at home, you might be blocked by this point. But it's like, if the worst person you can imagine says something you agree with, maybe it's time to start changing your opinion. Maybe, just maybe, that's maybe not the right way to go about things. And also, big news, Conor McGregor got rejected by I don't know what way it works down south, what way you're meant to, how you can run for president, but he essentially is not allowed to run for president, which is shocking news to the worst person you know. I have a friend, I'll not name him now, but he was obsessed with Conor McGregor and absolutely loved him. Anyone who knows me will know this guy, and he loved Conor McGregor. Used to, imitate him, used to do the fucking the impressions, the fucking stance and everything. I remember one time, I think it was the Jose Aldo fight, when he knocked him out in 13 seconds or something, and my mate was genuinely in tears. He was so happy about it. Absolutely love Conor McGregor, and it's safe to say I don't think he's too fussed on him anymore. It must be one of the worst feelings ever to one of your like sport icons, or like just someone you look up to, just becomes a bit of a bad apple. That's another funny thing. I went to write a joke about this before, and I couldn't really work it out. It's very common in like sort of men, I think, when you find out like one of your favorite like sports stars or movie actors. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, like an athlete or a movie star or a fucking a singer or a rapper or whatever. You find out they do something wrong, and you're like, it's not great, is it? It's not great. Like Kanye West, don't get me wrong, absolute lunatic at the minute. But he made Graduation, which is probably the best rap album of all time. So can I give him a bye ball? In some regard, yes. I won't. I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh yeah, he did nothing wrong. He's actually right. He's that diamond encrusted swastika he's got in his neck is fucking marvelous. I want to get one myself. I'm going to buy that T-shirt he released with a swastika on it. I'm not going to do that, but I will also not defend him. You know, I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh yeah, well maybe he's got a point. But am I going to stop listening to him? Am I fuck? Have you ever heard I Wonder? Flashing Lights? Champion? Just get that album on, chill out. Fun. I'll give you a fun story. This will be the first on the podcast of. I'll just go into it. One time you can tell I'm trying to get the minutes up here. We're on 40 minutes. I'll tell you a story, and then I'll fuck off. Actually, I've got a business idea I want to tell you about. We'll see if I can get some sponsors for it. But one of the times I lived in a student house, I went out for a few pints after work, and I used to smoke the Mary Jane pretty heavily. We used to buy this thing. It's called Shatter or Dobbs or something. I don't know. I'm not in the lingo these days. God knows what you call it. Probably call it like cum wax or something now. It's basically like a wee square of wax, and you put it. You heat up this bit of glass and you smoke it. Not like crack. Okay, I know what that sounds like. It's like a bong that you heat up with a blowtorch, and then you put this wee bit of wax in it, and it gets you fucking rubbered. I remember having 6 to 7 pints and then coming home and smoking a full gram of Shatter and getting absolutely fucking faded off the Pensman and stuck on Graduation. And I was in the house by myself, and I just stuck on Graduation and just chilled out, front start to finish, just chilled out on the sofa. And I honestly think it was one of the best memories I've ever had of like doing something by myself. It was just unbelievable. Like, see, whenever what's the one? Drunken Hot Girls came on with Lil Wayne. Fuck me. It was just. I actually implore anyone to try it just once. Just get absolutely crossfaded off the drinking drugs and just listen to Kanye West Graduation from start to finish, and your life will change. My stomach's been making some mental noises here, and I really hope this microphone's not picking them up. If it hasn't, then I've just alerted you all to my stomach problems. But I'll tell you this before I go. I'll tell you my business idea. AI, but for sexting. And here's why I think that's a good idea. You're a lonely, you're a lonely male. You know, sometimes after maybe a few pints, you send some things, and I'm not speaking from experience. I'm speaking from stories my friends have told me. You send out a few risky messages to people you don't actually know, and you're just trying to get something. You're just trying to get a fish on the line. But then you wake up the next morning, you're like, what the fuck was I doing? That's absolutely wild. You get the fear, you delete your social medias, you know what I mean? You go to the gym for like a week, and then you do it all again. Rinse and repeat. This combats that. This combats that. An AI sex bot that you text and you just tell it whatever you want to talk about, and it'll just go to town. Your freakiest fantasies within, the realms of the law. Okay, let's be clear here. No weird stuff with fucking animals or whatever else. You can just fucking text it absolute filth, and it'll give you it back. And then you have a wank, you can knock one out, fall asleep, you wake up the next day, you just delete the chat. No one knows. And I don't know what we're gonna call it yet. Let's call it artificial intelligence. Trying to think of a pun. Okay. Instead of a question this week, give me ideas for what we can call, and this is going to be a startup company. We'll start this all together. Give me ideas on what we can call our artificial intelligence sex chat bot, sex. Fucking hell, sex chatbot, artificial intelligence thing. Okay, so do that this week. Everyone send me ideas for it, and I'll pick out the best one. And do you know what I'll do? I'll send you a case of beer. So, for whoever I think is the funniest. So there's a bit of incentive to actually comment, because it's just been 1 or 2 people commenting every week. So there's that. But what it'll do is, you'll just we'll not store it in our servers, whatever filth you're talking about. You can just fucking swipe it away, delete it the next morning, and that's it. No one needs to know. It's your dirty wee secret, and you can do it as much as you like. You can just fucking, you know, in work, you're bored, give it a wee text. Just say, let's have a quickie. And it'll just have a quickie with you. And you can just, spunk in your trousers, play a bit of fucking pocket billiards, knock one out. You can do it. I don't know. We'll try to find a way to put it in offline mode. Do it on a plane. You want to join the Mile High Club, but you're a bit of an incel. Have a wee sexting session with our chatbot, and you'll be part of the Mile High Club. It might be a different club. You might be on a register, but we'll see what we can do. And I think it's a good way as well. We can catch pedos or stuff like that. If anyone's on, like, pretend you're a 13-year-old boy, then we say, well, we've got your IP. So bang. So we're really doing like three things at once. We're catching pedos. We're stopping women from being harassed by horny drunk men, and we're also helping guys come. And that's really the three things in life that we need to be doing these days. There's a lot of that going on, and we need to just put a stop to it. All right. But I think I have talked enough shite for one day. Thanks again for listening. Again, I'll be in Dublin Wednesday night in the Comedy Cellar. Thursday night, Ulster Sports Club with No Joke. 13th of June, we'll be running Crack House Comedy again. Trying to think anything else. If you can send me some suggestions for our AI sex chatbot, that would be great. And I will see you next week.